Email after email after email notifications of payment received. 142 emails as I collected $13,774 in just the first week of my virtual summit. I started my first business when I was 16. I borrowed some money from my dad to do a course in cosmetology and making cosmetics like shampoos, creams, oils, etc. And then taking everything that I had learned from my course, I created a new course. I added in my grandma's secret recipe and I packaged everything together in a course and sold it to beauticians. Now, in the first 27 days, I made a profit of 5,440 rupees. Guess what happened? You would have thought that I would go on to make hundreds of millions of rupees, right? Wrong. My upper limit problem hit. I had thoughts like, who am I to teach a course to a bunch of adults? Remember, I was 16. Why would these qualified beauticians want to learn from me? And so I literally said goodbye to an income of 5,000 to 10,000 rupees a month. And this was a time when my dad was earning 6,500 rupees. And that too, after being in one of the highest positions in the state government, as well as being a doctor. So some part of us is afraid of enjoying positive energy and wealth and abundance for extended periods of time. And so we sabotage our success. It would take me 17 years to realize that I had upper limits and I was sabotaging my own money flows. So I started using the tools diligently. And after 90 days of playing with the tools, I hosted a virtual summit in January. In the first week itself, I had sales of 13,744. 142 people bought my $97 package, and the virtual summit went on to net a revenue of $52,835. I had more money than I could have ever dreamed of. And all this was a direct result of letting go of my upper limit problems and functioning in my zone of genius. So, who wants to let go of their upper limit problems? Let me know. Type in ULP in the comments below. I help high vibe entrepreneurs function from their zone of genius all the time. Functioning from your zone of genius means that you have let go of all your upper limit problems. Being in your zone of genius means that you feel good all the time, that you are willing for your life to flow, for your life, your work, your relationships, and your creative pursuits to flow more positively and easefully for longer and longer periods of time. You're also willing to feel good and have your life go well all the time. You're also willing to make the big leap to your ultimate level of success in love, money, and creative contribution. So, in my program, Activate Your Zone of Genius, I help you to remove your last obstacle to ultimate success in wealth, work, and love, which is upper limits. So we have a limited tolerance for feeling good. When we hit our upper limit, we manufacture thoughts that make us feel bad. This problem is bigger than just our internal thoughts, though. We seem to have a limited tolerance for our life going well in general. So, when we hit our upper limit, we do something that stops our positive forward trajectory. We get into a conflict with our ex, we get into a money bind, or we do something else that creates misery in our work or in our relationships, or we create accidents or ill health or you name it, right? So in my program, I help you to you will learn how to build a new home in your zone of genius, and how you can make every moment an expression of your genius. You will learn the ultimate success mantra to thrive in love, abundance, and creativity. You will also learn how to create time for the full expression of your genius. Now, you might be thinking, what if I don't have any genius within me? That's not true. Just because you haven't tapped into your genius or you haven't acknowledged your genius, it's not that you don't have genius. So, I mean, think of a fish. The zone of genius of the fish is in the water. So, would you expect the fish to fly? Would you expect the fish to climb a tree? No, the zone of genius doesn't lie there. And in the same way, we all have our specific zones of genius. All we need to do is to consistently tap into it and live from that zone of genius. Okay, so what is exactly the zone of genius? The zone of genius is like liberating and expressing your natural genius is your ultimate path to success and life satisfaction. Your zone of genius is a set of activities you are uniquely suited to do. They draw upon your special gifts and strengths. Your zone of genius, it beckons you with increasingly strong calls as you go through life. In my program, I show you how to heed this call and move gently and gracefully into your zone of genius. If you don't heed the call and make a gentle and graceful move into your zone of genius, we often get painful life hacks that tell us with blatant clarity that we are not paying attention to the call. Okay. Now you might be thinking, I can do this on my own. And absolutely, you can definitely do it on your own. But if you do it with someone who already has all the tools and who can hold your hand and guide you to doing that, your time is definitely shortened, and you can step into your zone of genius much faster. Now, I know in the face of so much evidence that life hurts and is fraught with adversity on all fronts, having a willingness to feel good and have life go well all the time is a genuinely radical act. Going into space is no longer radical. You can buy a ticket online. However, going into your inner depths, where your most deeply held beliefs about what's possible reside, counts in my book as a genuinely radical act. Now, if we even think that it's remotely possible to feel good all the time and have life go well all the time, we owe it to ourselves to find out how we can do it. Now, one of the big drivers to the zone of genius is when you have no judgment. When you have no judgment in your universe, there is no separation. You are in communion with every molecule of the universe. You have 360 degrees awareness. And that's why when you join Activate, the no judgment year, which is part of my membership program, Energy Wise, is absolutely free. In the no judgment year, you get to build your no judgment muscle for 1 whole year. So, what would it be like to have no judgment and to receive judgment with no point of view? Amazing, right? So people always ask me how much is Activate, and that's actually the wrong question to ask. You should be asking, what is the return of investment of being in your zone of genius? So I've been able to create a TV show out of thin air, which was called The Nilofer Show. I've also been able to publish 7 books in 3 years. And in fact, I published 3 books in just 1 month, all courtesy the Zone of Genius state. So it's not what it's going to cost you, it's actually what is the value of living in your zone of genius. What is the value of having ease and space in your life? What is the value of things showing up even before you ask for them, right? Um, you know, because if you, what is on the other side, what is if you don't do anything, right? And the alternative, it feels like you do nothing, of spinning your wheels, of doing the same thing over and over again, right? So you have to look at the long term return on investment. And the long term return on investment is that you spend more and more time every day enjoying an organic, deep feeling of body and mind wellness. You are willing for all of your life, your work, your relationships, your creative pursuits to flow positively and easefully for longer and longer periods of time. And you're willing to take the big leap to your ultimate level of success in love, money, and creative contribution. What would you like your ultimate level of success in money, love, and creative contribution to look like? Right? So is having all this in your life worth $997 a month for 1 year, or $10,000 paid in full? So if you when you are ready to make that shift into your zone of genius, jump, send me a message and I'll hook you up. Move gently and gracefully into your zone of genius.